Hey guys, today we're going to draw Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. So we're drawing Stitch and then I'll do a separate video about coloring Stitch. So we're going to do the line drawing first and then check out the second video for the coloring. This is our line drawing. We're going to use our paper horizontally and we're going to start with a circle. So our circle should be toward the top of the page. And we want to make sure we have room for the body. So I'm using the paper horizontally, even though Stitch is kind of in a square shape. It'll give us a little room for some palm trees on the side, or a beach scene, or something like maybe a sunset. So first thing we did was draw our circle, and we're drawing pretty light so that we can erase. You will need an eraser and a pencil and something to outline with, so something like a Sharpie, a thin Sharpie, or a black pen that you can outline with. Okay, once you have your circle on there, we're going to take either our fingers and measure our circle like this and make a mark, or you could use your pencil measuring your circle and then moving your fingers down. What we're doing is we're making a mark about one circle height down from the bottom of our circle. And this is just to make sure we can fit Stitch's body in there. This is going to help us to get him kind of in the center of the page here. So in the middle of your circle, I want you to put a horizontal line dividing your circle, and that doesn't have to be very straight. It can be a little bit curved. That's going to help us to do the eyes and nose. We'll start with Stitch's nose. For Stitch's nose, we're going to make a little curve like a rainbow shape above the line, and then below the line we're going to make kind of a U shape. Stitch's nose is a little bit like a rounded triangle. So we're going to use the round of the top and then make a rounded V or a U shape for the bottom. So for the eyes, on either side, we're going to make a curve below the line. So that's a little curve that's going to be the bottom of the eyes. And for the top of the eyes, let's make a nice high upside down U. And let's try and make the eyes look the same on either side. So if we make a U about that big on one side, let's make it about the same size on the other. And we want to put in a little half a circle on the upper left of each eye. That's going to remain white and be the sparkle in the eye. We're going to put in two little curves for the nostrils at the bottom part of Stitch's nose. And then directly at the bottom of the nose, a vertical line. Oops. A short vertical line. Vertical means up and down. Now for Stitch's mouth, this is going to be the center of the nose and sort of the divider between each side of his mouth. We're going to make a really long, big mouth. Stitch has a really big mouth. So if you look at about where the eyes, the width of the eyes is, and come and make a flat curved line. So it's curved just at the edges and it's pretty flat in the center. And we're going to go from one side of the head to the other. And because Stitch's mouth is open, we're going to start at this left corner and make a curved line that comes right to a point on either side. Stitch has 4 teeth on top and 4 on the bottom, and they're spaced apart. They're just little V shapes. Okay. And then his tongue is just a little bump inside. So for Stitch's ears, that'll be the next thing we do. Starting right where your line that divides the head touches the edge of the head on the right here, we're going to come and make a curve that goes up over the head and then away from the head to the right. This looks like a long S shape. Now we want to do the same on the other side. So starting right at that line, let's make a curve that comes away from the head to the left. Okay. Now at the end of that S shape, we want to come around and just below where it started onto the side of the head. Stitch has some pretty big ears. Now we want to have a point at the top and come down just below where that ear started. If we come above that ear shape and add a little curve coming out on either side, that'll give us the backs of the ear. And then inside the ear, we want to come right where that line meets the side of the head, our dividing line, and just come out to the side of our ear. Stitch's ear on the right over here has a little cut in it, or a little notch. And this is a sideways V shape. So we're going to put that notch in there, and then I'm going to erase the inside of that notch. We'll add some little details on Stitch's face in a little bit. The next thing we're going to do is the arms. So the front arms, the front of Stitch's body are these two arms that are coming down right about where that mark is. So we're going to come from the side of the head about where as wide as the mouth is, or directly below the eye, and make a curved line coming down to right about where our mark is, and we want to do the same on the other side. Okay. And then in between those two lines, we want to make the opposite curve, and this is going to be a shorter line. It comes down to the same mark we made. And these are curves that go in the opposite direction. The Stitch has 4 toes with claws. So we're going to, at the bottom of each of these arms, make 4 U shapes and connect them with a big curvy line. So I'm making one curvy line that comes around and makes a U, an upside down U, makes another U, makes an upside down U, and they're connected. And I want to do that on the other side as well. So 4 big round toes. And Stitch's toes all have a little claw at the end. So for the claw, we just make a curve that comes to a point. And I'm going to put one on the end of each toe. Okay. Now, right next to these two front paws, we want to do the back feet or paws. So I'm going to make an egg-shaped oval. This egg shape is a little bit leaning on its side, so it has a little bit of a smaller curve and a bigger curve. And we want to try and make that just over here next to the front paw. And then I want to make one that's about the same size on the other side. Let's try and make them close to the same size. They can be a little bit different shape. And then inside that toe, or that foot, I'm going to put that pad on the bottom of Stitch's foot. And then the toes on these back feet are 4 little bumps. So you're just going to make little upside down U shapes or little rainbow shapes around the edge of the toes, or around the edge of the foot. In between the first toe and the second toe, we're going to make a curved line that comes up to the body. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And this is just a rounded line that comes right up to the body. That's going to be Stitch's leg. And then we see a little bit of the body on the side here. And that's just a curved line coming from the side of where the shoulder is to the top of the leg. And then to finish off the legs, imagine a curved line that went all the way across from one foot to the other foot. I didn't go over my front arms, I went behind it. So I'm going to just continue that curved line. If you want to erase your markings that you made for where to put the paws, you can do that. Okay. I like to put a horizon line on my drawings so that my drawing doesn't look like it's floating in the paper. So I'm going to put a line that goes from one leg through the back to the other leg so that Stitch is sitting on a little hill of grass maybe. Below the chin here, I'm just going to put a little zigzag for some fur. And then I also want to do the same thing on the top of the head. Stitch has a little fur on the top of the head. Then the eyes, I want to do a big circle right around the eyes. This is going to go right from the side of the nose. This is just a lighter color fur that Stitch has. And the top of each of those will be an eyebrow. Okay. And above Stitch's nose, we have 2 little curves. He has some little wrinkles above his nose. Okay. If you'd like to draw a background, you can do something like palm trees. Palm trees are long trunks. You can make a few of them. You can have them crossing over each other like that. And then the top of a palm tree, all of the leaves come out from the center where those trunks are, where the trunk is. So I start with doing some long lines and then make each of those long lines into a point and then get a little wider as it comes into the center of the tree. This is another one. And palm trees often have some ribbed lines. You don't have to do the palm trees, but you can if you want. So I'm going to outline my stitch. So I'm not going to outline the lines around the eye that was the big circle, because that's just a difference of color. It's going to be just a blue and a light blue. I am going to outline my eyes and my nose. I'm going to outline everything else on my stitch. I did not outline my tongue. You can if you want. The tongue is really just a place that's a lighter pink from the rest of the mouth. So I'm not going to outline it with a black line, but I will do my light colors first. Check out the second video, which has the coloring of stitch. This is just going to be drawing stitch. And if you want to outline those pads on the bottom of the paw, you can. If you don't want to outline it, it's okay, because it's just a different color. So you can use your pencil line as well. And while you have your black pen or black marker, unless you have a thicker one, but if you want to use this one, you can. It's great to fill in the eye. The eye is going to be black, except for that part we drew in the upper left corner, which we want to leave white. That's going to be the sparkle that gives our stitch his cute look and makes him look like he has a little bit of a reflection in his eye. So that's my stitch. A lot of times I like to take a thicker marker, so something like a big Sharpie, and put a nice big outline around the outer part of my drawing. I'm also using this pen to do the claws, because those are black. And you can skip that part if you don't want to do it. I just like to put this heavier line around the outside. Sometimes it helps you to see. This is a great time then to go in and erase any of the lines you might have changed or you don't want to keep. Sometimes I outline a little bit differently than my pencil drawing, especially down here on these fingers. So I do like to outline a little bit differently sometimes than I draw. I like to erase. I forgot to do stitches, little wrinkles and eyebrow. And that's my stitch drawing for today. So check out the second video, which will show you the coloring of our stitch drawing. Thanks, guys.